Artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and the Internet of Things are all buzzwords thrown around today in the business world. Each reflects technological breakthroughs that are expanding automation possibilities. Before, human workers have been indispensable for the majority of tasks. Now, we are beginning to question the notion that computers cannot think intelligently. The mental image commonly associated with automation is a typical manufacturing assembly line with some or essentially all processes powered by machines. These tasks have been regarded as viable for automation because they are repetitive and can easily be expressed in terms of algorithms. Algorithms are step by step instructions a machine can understand and follow precisely. Moreover, there is usually a compelling use case for automation in these factories where certain processes can range from excessively tedious and exhausting to those that are dangerous. Administrative and clerical services have been largely spared from automation in the past. Although these tasks are repetitive, they tend to deal with unstructured data or data that cannot always be effectively understood or processed by a computer. For example, bookkeeping or accounting clerks may repeatedly deal with the same task of encoding invoices and other documents in the accounting system. But since there is no standard format for how these documents should look, it used to seem counterproductive or outright impossible to design an algorithm that could make sense of these source files. However, machine learning models today can quickly automate all of these tasks at an impressive level of accuracy. Similarly, providers of contact center services used to have a distinct value proposition because although customer service bots have existed for a long time, they have not reached the level of human interaction that would be acceptable in dealing with clients. Yet it is becoming more viable to significantly cut down personnel by adopting artificial intelligence enabled response systems in most settings, given recent advancements in natural language processing and text to speech systems. Businesses are likely to maximize these opportunities for automation when the benefits of adoption outweigh the costs, which is expected to become more common as the technology becomes more effective and affordable. However, this shift from labor intensive to capital intensive operations would have economic implications on the labor market. Workers are concerned that automation will come after their jobs. This phenomenon is called the job displacement effect, which is certainly not new. Consider how we have significantly fewer VCR technicians or typists nowadays. At the same time, however, people tend to forget the other side of automation, the job creation effect. For every task or job that is automated, some new tasks and jobs are created for people to fill. To illustrate, while there may be fewer data entry jobs available today than a few years ago, there has been an explosion in demand for business or data analysts with the current trend to utilize insights from big data analytics. Aside from this, when a company replaces human workers with computer systems, there will always be a job of maintaining these systems and ensuring that they work correctly. Nevertheless, some jobs will still be rendered outdated, and despite new jobs being created, it will not always be easy to transition from one job to the next, especially if these new jobs require higher order skills. As such, working professionals need to be proactive in responding to automation. First, professionals should find opportunities to upskill and differentiate themselves. The Bible also teaches us this. Proverbs 22:9 says, "Do you see any truly competent or skillful workers? They will serve kings rather than working for ordinary people." Analyzing the aspects of a job or function that are not easily automatable would be a good starting point to determine which skills to develop in particular. Second, professionals should pursue opportunities for promotion and career advancement. When workers move past the grunt work and reach a point where they can make more meaningful contributions to the decision making process in the organization as a manager or an executive, they become less susceptible to automation. Third, professionals should recognize that provision ultimately comes from God, not from their job, which can suddenly become outdated. Remember 1 Timothy 6:17, which says, "Teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable. Their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment."